Thank you for joining us at New Day Fellowship Church, going church, new vision for a multicultural generation. We thank you for joining us this evening because this is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. So we know that you could be doing other things, but you chose to tune in here. And not only that, but you're going to have a great insight of what's going on. Also, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, or if you're on our website, www.newdayfellowshipchurch, as well as YouTube, tell you what, push like, comment, and share, and you can share with anybody you choose to share it with. And we thank you that we're going all over the world. We're just not in the Central Texas slash Texas and nation, but we're all over the world. So thank you for joining us this evening because we know that God is good in everything that He does. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Galen. He's from Texel Credit Union here in Temple, Texas. And so let's give a round of applause for Mr. Galen being our guest for the evening. Yay! Mr. Galen, tell us about yourself. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we get into the gist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. And we know some of the same people, and
Yes.
they have mentioned nothing but great admiration for you. And so appreciate you inviting me here, and I'm happy to be here. But a little bit about me, Galen Burson, recent transplant to Central Texas here from the state of Colorado. I'm currently the director of mortgage sales at Texel Credit Union,
All right.
and we've been here a whopping 8 months.
Wow.
We're trying to get used to the heat and humidity of it all. If you've never been to Colorado, first of all, you're missing out. Make sure you do go to Colorado. It's a great state. And we relocated due to some family needs, and it was unexpected, but man, we're liking it more than we expected to. And
Yes, sir.
And so just the people here are just so genuine and willing to bend over backwards to help a neighbor, and so we're getting accustomed and finding our way around, and things are going well. For us and for here at the credit union as well.
All right. Well, I ask you to give a shout out to your lovely wife and your lovely kids that's probably watching this evening. And not only that, how did you meet your wife?
Yeah, well, so it's an interesting story. So at the time, I hired her to work for us.
Okay.
Back in Colorado. We both worked at the same organization, and she came in for an interview, and we interviewed. And she came on board, and just got to know each other. And we were both with different partners at the time.
Okay.
And bear with me here because a lot of people will jump ahead.
Uh-huh. Come on. You're inquisitive people.
Yeah, that's right. So at the time, she was married to her first husband, and I was with my first wife, and we just knew each other through work. And then fast forward. I was going through a time in my life where just going through a divorce from my first wife, and she actually was going through her first husband passed away from cancer, and we reconnected through the social medias, and really just kind of helped each other through that process of grieving and kind of leaning on each other, and just became friends, and started hanging out and doing things together. And we were out with some friends of mine for dinner, and they said, you guys know you're dating, right? And we're like, no, what are you talking about? And they said, oh, really? What did you do yesterday? And we're like, oh, we were we went to the baseball game. And they're like, oh, what are you doing today? You're here with us. What are you doing tomorrow? And we're like, yeah, we are dating. And so it is a unique story, and it's a little interesting because a lot of people will have first dates or a first kiss maybe, and for us it was just a friendship that grew into what it is, and we are celebrating 11 years later.
All right.
So
Woo!
I'm excited, and so she's amazing, and what's so amazing, one of the many amazing things about her is how she went from having 0 kids to the 3 kids that I had from my first wife.
Wow.
And she's just been great to take them on. And she's far from the Disney version of the evil stepmother as you can get. So she's been great, and we've just been enjoying and growing together through this the change through all of this. And so yeah, so that's how we got to know each other and where we're at today.
But that's awesome. 11 years is a milestone these years.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was either, to the end, but now it's kind of like, hey, there's a plan B that's going on. But I'm telling you, you do you, and everybody do everybody. Okay, so no judgmental here. Okay, you just, you never know all the ins and outs about it. So we just thank God that you're here. Hallelujah, and talking to us at this present time. Now, you are, what position do you hold at Texel?
Yeah, so director of mortgage sales.
Okay.
And so our division is with Texel Home Loans, which is the home loan division of Texel Credit Union here, one of the leading credit unions in Central Texas. And,
Okay.
Texel Credit Union has been around since 1948. And I'm not sure. I think we talked a little bit, but maybe I'll share a little bit why a credit union versus a bank. And I've been part of large organizations throughout the country in my professional experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with 3 of the top 5 banks in the country. But one of the things that I love about credit unions, and specifically Texel, credit unions are different in that we are not for-profit organizations, where typical banks and lending institutions, when they make their profits, they have a tendency to pay their management people up. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see the heads and CEOs of top banks in the country making tens of millions of dollars, mm-hmm. where with our credit unions, when we make profits, we put those back into our membership. And so we like to say our clients and customers are members as part of the credit union as opposed to our customers. And so we put those profits back into our members, and typically that's in the form of lower interest rates, mm-hmm. and lower fees that we can charge. And so are we always the lowest? No, but I would say like 9 times out of 10, we're going to be pretty competitive when it comes to things like that. Not only in all kinds of different loans and mm-hmm. Things like that, but also in how we can respond to interest rates for you to help you grow wealth as well. And so that's a little bit about credit unions. And so for us, what we do is we really educate people on how to get into homes and, mm-hmm. and how to be able to afford homes, and whether they're ready now or a year from now or 5 years from now. We firmly believe that owning a home is one of the great ways to help you build long-term wealth for mm-hmm. your family. And so if you look at the net worth of people who own a home, homeowners, it's like 400 times that of people who just rent, mm-hmm. Because you're able to get into a home. You're paying either around the same amount that you would be for renting a place.
And I don't understand. I don't know why people don't do that. Okay.
Yeah. And as you go, you're paying down interest and building equity at the same time. Mm-hmm. Home values have typically risen on national average about 6% in value. And so when you look at the value of the home going up and the equity that you're building, when you're ready, then you sell that home and take equity out of the home, mm-hmm. and then put that money into another home and continue to do that. And so, we want to help educate people on how to do that, whether they maybe have had credit challenges in the past, or they're a first-time home buyer, or whatever stage of life they're in. Mm-hmm. We want to help them get ready for that next stage.
Wow. So the difference between bank and credit unions. In other words, the credit union, they invest into the community.
Yes. And
yes.
I'm glad you brought that up, because in addition to kind of that not-for-profit designation, we also are very involved in our community. We invest not only dollars back into the community, but really our time. And one of the things that has impressed me about Texel so far, and I've been there a whopping 8 months, and so I'm still getting to learn a lot of it. But one of the very first events that I did, we have a organization that is called Texel Serves, and it's where we go into the community and are there loading up cars for people who are in need, or potentially helping build beds for kids who don't have a home or don't have a bed to sleep in. And so it's those type of events. And the Texel Serves, last year I think we did over 46 events. Wow. And over 90% of our employees attended at least one of those events and participated in those events. And so it really goes to show you that it's not just about being in the community, but it's serving that community. And one of the things that we do really well, it's not just us, right? It's our senior leadership. And the very first Texel Serves event that I did, our senior leaders were out there. And they're right sweating alongside with us. I mean, me coming from Colorado, I was sweating more than the rest of them because 90 degrees in September is common here, and it was a little more than I was used to. But it's just really impressed me because a lot of organizations will say, yeah, we really believe in volunteering in the community, and to them that may mean writing out the big check that they hand off at a party or a gala. But our senior leaders were out there like loading up cars and just really saying, hey, thanks, God bless you, and here, hope this helps.
Wow, I mean that is awesome. We talked a little bit about it, how people tell you that they're in the community that are upper level, and you never see them until Thanksgiving or maybe Christmas for an hour, maybe hour and a half, and they're back into their own world again.
Yeah, or a photo opportunity.
Yes, photo op. Yes, I've seen that. I've seen some come and just take a photo op, and next thing you know, 5 minutes later, I got another event. They may do it, or may not. I'm not sure, but then they just what do you call it? Just ride off into the sunset.
Yes, as people do here in Texas, right? But yeah, it's really been our leadership. I've just been nothing but impressed with. They put their money where their mouth is, and in addition to that, we do all kinds of financial education to help people. You can go onto our website, and if you want to learn about all kinds of different things, like how do you get into a home? What's the difference between interests, and APR, and what do I do if I've had credit challenges in the past? And we in our division will put on different seminars helping people get ready for first time home buying. What does that process look like? It is such even for people who are in it every day, it can get confusing and problems arise. And so for people who, buying a home is one of the biggest investments that people will ever make. I mean, currently you look at the average median sales price here in Bell County is around just under $300,000. That's a lot of money.
It is.
And so we want to help them get ready and answer the questions and educate them so that if you're not ready now, what will it take to help you get ready?
Okay. What number can they reach you at, your work number? What's Texel's work number?
Yeah, I think I should probably know this, but I don't. You can really go on to our website. I mean, we've got, it's just texel.org. So feel free to take a look at there. We have different numbers that will lead you to different departments, right? So we have personal banking. We've also got things like car loans, auto loans, personal loans, loans to buy farm equipment. You can get boat, watercraft loans, all kinds of stuff. In addition to, one of the things that sets us apart is we also have an insurance company that, yes, that can help you. They work with a bunch of different carriers that will, they can kind of look at different options that you could partner with and try to get you the best rates. And again, it's about educating them. The other big thing that they do is help people with Medicare, and so
Wow.
so definitely reach out to them about that, because they can help navigate that. Wes and his team over there does such a great job on, again, educating people on how to navigate the different systems and plans that are available. And so that really is the best place to go. Take a look at our website.
So in other words, it's kind of like a one-stop shop credit union.
Yeah.
In so many words.
Yeah, we offer a lot of different ways to be able to serve our members.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that about.
Yeah.
You know, I just heard the Texwell pass by it several times, different places. And you all have a brand new spot that's on the west side of town.
Yes.
I've heard it's fantastic in there by word of mouth. I had never been in there.
Yeah, feel free to come on by. Yeah, it's a great place. And our again, I get props to our leadership team. They really set out to make it what it is, and it's a fantastic place. It's got all kinds of amenities in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a gym that we have access to as
Really?
employees. Yeah. And there's a great little cafe area. And just, it's impressive. It's great place to go to work every day.
What about golf?
Not
Not
golf.
yet,
It's
not
over near the golf course. I think that might
you
have
can go
been
to golf once they come back.
Yeah, we're going to take a long lunch, maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
feel free to swing by. Yeah.
Sure. I'd like to come by and just skim through there, as they say.
I'll give you the tour.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Back in the day, I was a basketball guru, but not anymore.
Okay.
Age got me, and so I just passed by and say what I used to do back in the day.
Sure.
But
Now, when you say guru, what does that mean? It means different things to different people. So.
yes. I mean, I every day I went to go play basketball.
Oh, gotcha.
Every day, that was. But of course, I had a challenge of height. So but when my NFL football team used to lose, I used to go play basketball that Sunday. I'll be so mad because they lost, and I'll go down and try to, a little short as I am, want to post somebody up and foul them and everything else. And then I came to my senses. I said, wait now, these guys are making X amount of dollars yearly. I'm not making nothing.
Yeah.
So I've learned to, when they lose, and they lost plenty.
Yeah.
I just laugh and keep on going now.
Love of the game, right? That's why we do it. So are you able to say who your basketball team is that you root for?
Oh, don't have it now.
Okay.
But back in the day, it was San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my favorite two teams.
So this will tell me a lot about you.
My age.
Well, is who is your version of the best player? Are we?
Well, it's you know what, and this is my interpretation. I've been around plenty of different places. To me, my best player, it wasn't even in NBA.
Oh, okay.
They was in the Army. I mean, these guys make some of the NBA players, put to shame.
Okay.
But like I said, everybody's great. Didn't come from the NBA.
Yeah.
That's just But other than that, you got the Shaq, you got a Jordan, you got Larry Bird, and I didn't even know who Larry Bird was. I know this guy from Indiana, and he was playing for the University of Indiana. And, and I said, oh, he's not done. He just an average player, but he showed to be something.
Yeah.
So you had Dennis Rodman, who I thought wasn't going to be too much, and he turned out to be great. There was so many different players back then. There was out of San Antonio Spurs. There was George Cummings. I mean, I could go way back. I could hit the Admiral.
Yeah.
I could go far back. But, like saying, who's the greatest? I would say all of them have their own particular spot as being the greatest in certain different things. You have Vinny that he was short and came out of Baylor University, and he had long arms. But the idea is when one guy that was from my hometown said when he played against him, he said he jumped and Vinny's shoes was in his face. So I tell you, and he said this guy was like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
But he said the guy had some jump.
Yeah.
And so it was. I mean, I could go way back, and it was so exciting.
There was a couple guys that were on the vertically challenged as well, right? We're
Oh,
Muggsy Bogues. Remember
yes,
him
yes,
and Spud Webb back in the
yes,
day?
yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of more my era, 80s, 90s, and for me, I know there's other great players, but typically right now when you hear it, is it the Jordan or is it the LeBron? And so I
Yeah.
was
What do you
curious.
call it? Goat. And I didn't know what goat was for a
Right?
while.
Yeah,
And it's
I
the
grew up on a
greatest of all
farm, so
time.
goat means something different to me. So
Yes.
yeah,
I was. I had to ask the young person, what does GOAT mean? They said, oh, it's an acronym.
yeah,
Greatest of all time. I said, oh, I didn't know that. I'm
yeah,
like, I'm scratching my head like, okay, but like I said, everybody contribute.
yeah,
Like one big puzzle, but everybody had a piece of the puzzle that could put some things together.
yeah, yeah,
But it was awesome.
yeah.
I love to go and just watch them and get excited. But at the end, you know, I just go back to my little platform and just be who I am.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, no, that's great. Good. Do you still play at all, or?
No, sir. I
Oh,
just talk noise.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Good.
Just straight talk. Back in the day, I would have
Right.
done this. Back in the day, I
Yes.
would have done this. But it's just speculation, and then the young guys will hit the ball. Here you go. Let's do it, man. Come on now. I need knee pads. I need
Yeah.
everything else. I need to get some Bengay and rub it on my knees and
Yeah. Give
everything.
you some ibuprofen.
Everything.
Oh,
I mean, the whole 9 yards. So I heard you play hockey as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I grew up in the Upper Plains region, so I was born in Nebraska and grew up, finished growing up in South Dakota, and South Dakota, the place you got to go to. For those of you who aren't from there, I did not play growing up. It was that time back in the day, just about football, right? And played football and track, and I oddly enough was always fairly tall, but I for some reason was not into basketball. I played a little bit, but wasn't my thing. And so I didn't start playing until after I moved to Colorado. I moved to Colorado in 1995, which is the same year that the Colorado Avalanche moved there from Quebec, Canada. And so became a big fan and started playing a little bit, just outdoor roller hockey with some friends. And the more I played it, the more I liked it. And the more you played it, the more of an appreciation you have for it. And it's a great sport. I was never not great because I started later, but we have a lot of fun. And so I haven't played in a couple years, but yeah, it's a great sport.
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
No, sir. I can't even skate well.
Me either.
Now I was a DJ at a skating rink
Okay.
back in the day when I lived in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah. So
But after skating, I'm kind of like, don't touch me, don't get away from me,
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But I never mastered it or even got close to it.
yeah,
So I just went on in and scratched the record.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. DJ Scratch. When I was playing inline, I was part of an organization in Colorado that the guy who owned it owned several roller rinks as well, and so that's how he got started. And a lot of kids started, and some friends of mine there have really helped grow the sport there in Colorado. And so I was involved playing ice and inline as well. So yeah, it's fun.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, like I said, those thin little rollerblades. I mean, just so thin.
Yeah.
I don't. I would have to have something wrapped around my ankles because I believe my ankles would, swell up
Yeah.
or twist my ankle. So
It is, yeah. It's very similar. It's almost it's hard to describe, but like for me, I think rollerblades are easier than like the roller skates, like the quads. But yeah, it's to me just the being on them. But yeah, my ankles aren't what they used to be, so I relate. Yeah, give me some ibuprofen, some knee pads, and yeah, all the stuff.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is your hobby now? Since you're not really doing I know other than working,
Yeah.
but what's your hobby around here now?
Yeah, so we're still trying to find our way around, and we've part of the reason we moved down here was to help take care of my dad, and so some of it's related to that. We used to my daughter and I got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. 2 of them are back in Colorado, and one of them, a younger son, who's the middle child, is getting married this summer. He's a firefighter in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're excited for that. That's coming up this summer. But yeah, we used to do all as much as outdoor stuff as we can, and so we're still trying to find that here. But again, we're new, right? So we're finding our way around. We're excited to be part of the going to the lake and doing that fun stuff. We used to like paddleboard and do kayaking and hiking there. My daughter and I started doing some different Jeep trails and like working on building up some Jeeps. She's got an old Jeep that we putzed around on and worked on. And I didn't it was something I didn't do a lot of growing up, and I wish I would have. But there's a great place, YouTube University. It's amazing what you can learn there. And so she and I were just doing it together, and it wasn't about being great, but it was just about spending time together with her. And so yeah, we do that kind of stuff. And so there's not as many like Jeep trails here, but I know there's some. And so we're looking to do some of those kinds of things and off-roading and getting out hiking and so those kind of stuff. But just finding good restaurants with my wife and I, and taking care of my dad and getting him squared away. And so yeah, it's just we're liking where we're at right now.
So what's one of your favorite dishes or foods?
Oh gosh, that is,
or is it,
yeah.
It's vary.
I mean, if you think about it's hard. I should probably tell you what I don't like, because it's a much shorter list.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm a big fan of kind of like just the steak, a great steak. My wife is originally from California, so she loves sushi, and so we're trying out those type of places. It's pretty hard to go wrong with looking at different pizza places and all kinds of stuff. So. We're a couple places we've been. We found the pizza place downtown, kind of near the old Trinos, yeah. So that's a great atmosphere. Been to the what's the one over on the lake in Belton? This is, for those of you who aren't here, this is going to sound much worse than it is, but it's called Dead Fish Grill.
Yes.
And I can just see some of my people like, ew, that sounds horrible, and it certainly does. But the view is amazing. The ambiance is great. We've been to the Commonwealth here, which is a great place. So yeah, trying out different places like that. So it's been
before
fun.
It came Dead Fish Grill. It was I'm trying to think of it right now. It used to be Frank's Lakeview Inn.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they just changed that. But I'm very familiar with all those places. My wife loved to go out and eat.
Okay.
So we are testers.
Yeah.
And so we test this place out. She loved the place Le Rive.
Okay.
Yes, that's on West Adams.
Yeah,
and,
over not far from our headquarters.
Yes. She loves going there, and it just lightens her for a moment.
Yeah.
And then I see the bill, and it just put me in a down moment. But I said, okay, well, it's all good.
Yeah.
So,
It's worth it.
Yeah. So.
She
does different things, and then it was closed down for a year because the tornado came.
Right.
And so we would go to Georgetown, where they had another one. That was
the same.
Of the real, yeah, okay. same owner and everything. So we would just do things. We like to test food. Our children both of our daughters live in Houston, and they take us to some places it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love it because they pay for it.
Yes.
That's the main thing, and. They're not a McDonald's, Burger King kind of person. They like to take us in. We're like, wow, do you see the price of this thing? We got it's almost, you're almost paying rent. I don't own the place. I just want to just eat here. But it's good. And she mentioned to me, she said you can eat one day each place, and you'll never cover all of the Houston area.
Oh, I bet.
And so, because so many, it's a conglomeration of everything.
It's such a big city. I've been to Houston a couple times. It's been years, but it is such a big city. It's top 5, right, in the country for population, I think.
It's up there.
But yeah, I've heard it's great food for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
How many other kids do you have?
I just have 2 daughters.
2 daughters, okay.
Just 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And they was here for Mother's Day.
Great.
They surprised my wife.
Yeah.
They came in kind of late, and they was in the back, and I was up in ministry. And I looked and saw them, And then my wife didn't see him because she sits up front. And then I asked her, I said, honey, would you please pass out we give roses to the mothers
Yes.
of the day. And she looked at me like, now, all these people here, why you asked me to do this, and it was a setup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when she got up, she kind of did it, respectfully, but kind of, I'm going to get you later on kind of deal.
Yes.
And
I
then when
love
she
that.
turned around, saw him, oh, my daughter's here, so.
That's
She
great.
didn't say our daughter, she said my daughter. So I
Yes.
just left it alone,
Yeah. Well, that's what they say, right? When they're in trouble, they're ours, and when
Yes.
they're not, yeah, they're theirs.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
So
Good.
it was awesome. Then, of course, they took us to our favorite restaurant, La Ria's,
Yep.
and they paid for it, so it was all good.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Yeah. It always seems to taste better when somebody
yes.
pays
Oh
for it.
man, we talking about it. I didn't look up for about 5 minutes. I was just looking down. I was like, wow.
Yes.
We kind of ordered the same thing over and over, but we know what we like.
Yeah.
So
It's like a steakhouse or a pizza
it's
place?
it's a steakhouse, but it's more Italian.
Oh, okay.
And everything is authentic, and they make it right there. It's
Wow.
not get it from put in the microwave, and put on the plate and no, it was. I mean, everything is awesome because
Yeah.
both of our daughters, I said, wow. They said you could taste the originality in this.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, oh yeah. I said that's the reason why we come here. It's not like a store bought and stuck in here. So it's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great. Well, yeah, that's one place we have not tried. So we'll definitely take your recommendation. Absolutely.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I like other restaurants as well, but my wife, she liked this restaurant, and I like this restaurant, but because being a husband, you have to compromise.
Of
In the right,
course.
Jesse? You got to compromise and just say, okay, honey, wherever you choose to go, and no go well. She only got a few spots she like to go
Yeah.
in the area.
Now,
So,
how did you meet your wife?
my sister was had gallstones, and so she had surgery,
Okay.
and so my wife was a nurse. And I
Ah.
went there to go see my sister. Had paid no attention. I wasn't, focusing on her.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my sister. I was thinking about situations I was in, and I said okay. And then my sister said, "Hey, this is my brother Robert." And she said, "You didn't tell me." My sister and her had been knowing each other since junior high.
Yeah.
Never seen her before because I was different areas. I was areas that she would go to. That's where I was.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, "How you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine. How you doing?" Pay no mind. Bill Cosby show was on. I still remember it 'cause I was looking at it, paying no attention.
Right.
Had a dream that night that she gave my sister her phone number, and
Wow.
and I said, when my sister came back home, I said, I had a dream that nurse gave you her phone number to give to me. She said, "Oh yeah, it is. It's in the Bible." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Oh my
And
goodness.
so we got to talking. She was going to school and working. I was working 2 jobs. So
Yeah.
we talked on the phone for about 3 months
Yeah.
before we actually saw each other again. And then she finally invited me over.
Okay.
And so once I said, I want to look at her, see what she looked like. 'Cause I forgot what she looked like. But it was from there. And then a year and a half later, we got married in 1989.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's
So it's going
great.
on 37 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it just
Good for you guys.
it was awesome. I mean, the Lord set people up and show them dreams and visions. And there
Yeah.
was a dream that He showed me that gave my sister the phone number.
That's
And
a
so,
great
but the
story.
crazy thing is, when I first called her, I guess she thought I was a bill collector or something. I don't know what, because it was a short conversation. Or I talked to you later. Bye. I said, she don't know who this is.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so I called her back about a couple of days later. I said, this is Robert, but Bobby's brother. Oh, okay, yeah. So then we got to talking from there.
Yeah. What's something that you think you've learned that you wish you could tell yourself about marriage early on?
Keep my mouth shut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Quit, opinionated. Keep
Yeah.
your opinions to yourself.
Yeah.
Everything you say is not important.
Yeah.
But to listen. And I learned that at a later age. I thought that my vision was marriage was I used to watch a lot of the Brady Bunch,
Mm.
and I would see he would come in and bring his wife up flour and
Yeah.
oh, get a little kiss on the cheek and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. Thought it was all just hunky dory.
Right.
And then I went to marriage counseling before we got married.
Yeah.
And I told this one guy that he said, "Man, you very deceived." I like very deceived. He said, "Man, one of these days you wish you never saw this woman." He said, "But it get better after that." And then
Yeah.
our pastor, he took us to marriage counseling,
Yeah.
and he gave me. I still remember it was a yellow sheet of paper,
Yeah.
legal.
Yeah.
Gave her a legal sheet, gave me a legal sheet, and I just wrote 2 lines, because I didn't know, never been married before. What I
Right.
supposed to expect? And she wrote all the way down, and then she turned it over, kept right at it. He looked at my paperwork, he looked at her paperwork. He said, "You got a lot to learn, son." I said,
Mm.
Pastor Ivan Tate. And I said, "Sir, I've never been married, so I don't know what to expect."
Right.
I'm going with this blindfolded.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
No, I that's a great story, and I think I see that with a lot of people who go into marriage with a different idea of what a marriage is, right? And people who have been married, I almost I have a tendency to listen to them when they are able to share that it's not always easy,
yes,
as opposed to someone's like, "Oh, marriage is great, everybody should do it." I don't know if that's true, but it is definitely a learning experience, and it's we just like anything, right? We have good days, bad days, and learn from each other. And I drive her bananas some days, and she knows she does that for me too. But it's through I think through some of the unexpected turns, just that I've shared that we've been through. That we've been able to lean on each other.
yes.
And so yeah, it sounds like you've had that experience as well.
Well, the good thing is that, and I'm not saying it as a good thing, but what happened is her mom and dad was deceased.
Mm.
My mom was deceased. Only had my father when we got married here, and so we didn't, when we had issues, whatever, we didn't go run to the parents because the parents are going to take that person's side.
Yeah.
So it was awesome that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we had to learn to fight it out ourselves and learn how to adjust and cope and just deal with things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was struggling because how you say one thing, but there's called the enemy saying, "If I was you, I'd do this.
Yeah.
If I was you, I'd do this." You're like, "Yeah, but I can't do that because they'll land me in prison." I better not do that.
Yeah, it's the story about like when you're out to eat, you look at them through the fork, and you're like, "What would my life look like if I was behind bars?" Yeah.
And the good thing is you let the kids eat first.
Right.
Kids eat first, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you just say, "Come on, honey, eat." Kids, hold on just a moment. Wait.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. It's and we see that a lot, kind of relating it to what we do, right? When people go into marriage, it's like, here's your expectations versus what it really is. Kind of circling it back, like we see that a lot with people who go into the home buying process, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have in their mind that it's just easy, and we try to make it as easy and seamless as possible. There's a set of expectations, and then there's kind of what it is, and we try to help people prepare for what that looks like throughout that process. And we really we want to help people go through that process and be successful, and try to get in. I don't know of any person who owns a home that doesn't wish they would have done it started sooner, right? Because they see the power of it now. And one of the things I tell my kids, and I try to pass it on to both our team and the people that we work with, is don't give up what you want for what you want right now. And so a lot of times people, they want the fancy lifestyles or eating out or the nice car, and it's way better to drive a $5,000 car and have some money in the bank than drive a $50,000 and not have anything in the bank. And so it's we try to just help prepare them for that, and really look at growing and helping them achieve what they want long term, by helping maybe give up some things that they want right now.
Yeah, I like it sometimes when I go to the gas station, like prior and maybe a little bit now, and they have the fanciest car there ever is,
Yeah.
and they putting $5 worth of gas in the tank. Like, man, that's not gonna get you nowhere, you know. Then
Yeah.
so you know it's all about show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen some of the fanciest cars delivering food, because they have to get a second money to
yeah,
help pay for it. And, to each their own, but, there's something to be said about that.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
But it's good. Any last thoughts you want to talk about where you work at and the people there, and or anything that's going on in your life?
Yeah, no, I think we're just open to helping people. We've got a lot of things coming up as far as education is concerned. We've
Hmm.
the medical. This is a huge medical community. So one of the things that we recently rolled out is, excuse me, it's a program that is specifically geared towards doctors in the medical profession, and
Okay.
so we have some things that allow them to get into a loan, home loan, and buy a home sooner than they probably think they are able to. And so, we're happy to chat about that. We have different options for, there's a big medical community, and where
Hmm.
I come from in Colorado Springs, there's 4 military bases, and so I'm very appreciative of people that have served our country. My dad is a vet. My brother served in the military, and I just have such a deep appreciation for people who have served, knowing that it's not just them; it's the families who served while they were serving. Right?
Yes, yes.
It's the support community that they built, and so we've got VA loans that we can help people with, and that's one of the great things now that the VA is guaranteed. You can get into like a 4-unit property and essentially have the rent cover what your mortgage could be essentially, and
Hmm.
build equity. And the VA loan has great options
Wow.
for building wealth that way. And so we talk about that with people in our VA seminars. And so we've got different programs for specifically for first-time home buyers. That's our portfolio loan that we can help people by not having to pay MI, which is mortgage insurance. A lot of people think you have to have a certain number down of 20%. That's no longer the case. It
Mm.
used to be the case back, several years ago. But you can get into a home with, as little as 3% down, or in some cases, no money down if you're in the VA program. So there's a lot of different ways, and we want to help educate you on how to do that. And we've got some of the best pricing on jumbo loans, which for people who aren't familiar with what those are, the government's or the Federal Housing Administration sets aside certain limits that change every year. The random number this year is 832,750. So anything above that is considered a non-conforming or jumbo loan, and people who are in that pricing structure, I think you're going to find some of the most aggressive pricing that we have. It's a
Hmm.
portfolio loan. There's so many things. We've got home equity loans. That's a great way for people to restructure debt. If you're high in credit cards, or we were talking about cars.
Yes, sir.
I'm amazed at some of the payments that they have.
Hmm.
And so one of the ways that we do is help people restructure from higher payments and put all of that into a loan that is secured through your home, that you're going to save money every month, save money in interest, and hopefully help you get debt free quicker. And so so there's just a lot of different ways that we can help people do that. We've got a first-time homebuyer seminar coming up in June on why now is actually a good time to buy a home.
Hmm.
It kind of touches base on, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of time people are waiting because they're saying rates are too high when they're higher than they have been over the past couple years. But when you look at over the grand scheme of things, when we started tracking this information from 1971 until now,
Mhm.
that average interest rate is around 7.5%,
Okay.
right, from start to finish. And right now, rates are around 6 to 6.5, depending on the program, depending on a lot of different factors. But so they're actually lower than the than average over the past 50 some years.
Wow. Yes.
And so, just kind of something to think about, And we were talking earlier about it. Back in 1981, rates were at 18%, and guess what? People were still buying houses.
Yes.
And so, we're going to talk about that coming up at a seminar we're having at our headquarters. That, just like if you wait until rates go down, there's going to be more people shopping, which means you're going to, competition. You're going to have to get higher. There's more people in that you're bidding against. And so if you are able to get into a home now, if and when rates do drop, you're able to refinance into a lower interest rate. And so, why it can be a really good opportunity to do it now. So feel free to check it out on our website. We're going to be sharing that across our social channels and our website. If you want to hear more information about that or other upcoming stuff, check out our website as well.
Y'all hear that, guys? So check it out. Let it know that this is the real deal. To let you know if you're looking for a credit union, and it's in the local area, and you all are just in Temple, Belton.
We're Temple, Belton. We've got one in Hewitt. A couple different branches here in Temple. We've got one in Georgetown and Cedar Park.
Oh, y'all growing?
Yeah. Wow. So we've a couple people. We've got one of my team members up in Dallas. We've got another one down in Austin, and so we're up and down I-35 corridor, and we're growing and looking at different ways that we can serve people within those communities as well.
Wow, I thought y'all were just in Temple Belton there. I'm learning a whole lot just listening to your conversation.
Good. That's what we're about. We want to educate people and figure out different ways that we can serve them, and we've got a lot of different ways to do that.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Galen, I thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We put this together, guys, in one day. One of his persons called and said, "Hey, I think Galen's interested in coming." And I said, "Hey, I got a slot open." There was a slot of today, but the person, canceled. I said, "Got a slot open." He said, "Well, let me call you back." Call back. We talked, and here he is.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you. So I tell you that Galen knows the stuff. If he didn't know it, he would say, "Well, no, let me freshen up on something." But when you love what you do, you know your stuff. So it's awesome. So appreciate you coming and hanging out with us this afternoon, and let you go back to your lovely family, because I know that they're waiting on you, but they'll be looking at you and saying, "Oh, he's mentioned my name." Well, he didn't really mention your name, but just her presence was in the area.
Yeah.
So Galen, thank you for joining us again to a New Day Fellowship Church. We'll do what we need to do, and we'll hook up later.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
God bless you.
And thank you for tuning in to a New Day Fellowship Church. We are so grateful that you joined us, and we pray that you were blessed by hearing God's living word. May his message inspire you to continue walking in faith, trusting that he is working all things together for your good. As we close out this service, feel free to leave a word of encouragement in the comments and share your testimony with others. Together, we can inspire and uplift those around us to live for God. Remember, this is your season. Hold on to his promises, stand firm in your faith, and watch as God does great things in your life. Continue to be blessed, and we look forward to seeing you again. Stay encouraged and keep shining his light.